Welcome to the Tyneside Irish Cultural Society podcast with me, Michael McNally. Hi, and welcome to our June podcast. This month, it's all about entertainment coming your way in the near future. I spoke the other day with our very own Paul Hetherington to tell us all about the Tyneside Irish Festival. Hiya, Paul. It's great to have you on the podcast. The podcast, that was originally your idea, I believe.
It was, yeah. It was, yeah. It was a whole lockdown thing of what we're going to do now. Now we can't get out to live gigs anymore. Where everyone's stuck at home. How do we carry on? So yeah, that was the idea, and of course thought of you as the first person who do know who's got Irish connections on Tyneside.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I've had a great time putting these things together and meeting some fantastic people. Paul, tell us a little bit about the Tyneside Irish Festival. First, the background of the Irish Festival. How long has it been running? How many years?
I think this is the 36th or 37th year. Obviously, we missed one out last year with the pandemic, so that was the first one that's been missed. But it's the longest running Irish festival in the country, I believe. And of course, it was the brainwave of Tony Coughlan, as most things in the Northeast seem to be. And came up with this great idea, and it's been running an awful long time. And off the back of the festival, which was started all that time ago, Tony started up the Tyneside Irish Cultural Society in 1994, I think. So it's been running a long time now.
This year, obviously, we're all looking forward to it. Is everything going to go ahead with the COVID restrictions we've had in place?
We've all got our fingers crossed. Nobody knows for sure. Things are looking pretty good. I've got to say, it seems that other events seem to be going ahead for that kind of time of year. There's other festivals and things happening around that time. So we can only keep our fingers crossed. There might be some social distancing. We just don't know. But we're optimistic.
When exactly is it going to be taking place?
It's a bit of a change this year, because normally we run the festival over about 10 days. So we've generally got 2 weekends in that. And then stuff in the middle as well, all kinds of bits and pieces and lectures and things. But we kind of found that 10 days in a row is a bit much for a lot of people. You can't get to, can't go out every single night, and it's just too much. So we decided to stretch it over the month and kind of have just little bits and pieces throughout the whole month of October. So it's going to start on the 1st of October and run right through to the end of October. And the idea is, obviously, we'll have a bit of space between most events, giving people a bit of breathing space, and the staff, obviously, because it's hard work doing 10 things in a row. So that's the plan. But obviously, with these things, with a run over a month, we might end up putting more and more stuff in. So by the time October comes, we might be just even more crazy busy than we were the last festival. So it's mainly based around the Irish Centre, because that's where that's our kind of base, really. We've got an office in there, and obviously we can get to use the facilities and stuff like that, which is really handy. But yeah, we do try and put stuff out in other venues. There'll be other things like our kind of Raison Songs and Stories project will be out in a different venue somewhere, not necessarily in the city centre, somewhere maybe more local people can get to. And there'll be other events around the city. We've still got lots of planning to do. Nothing's set in stone yet, but the main kind of concerts, I think, are pretty much planned. And apart from, we've got Mary Coughlan playing at the Gosford Civic Hall. Apart from that, I think the rest of the concerts are going to be in the Irish Centre.
Is she playing solo, or is she with the band?
She's with the band, yeah. She's I'm going to run through the kind of a bit of a diary with you to let you know what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's with a band, so it's going to be good.
Great. So who else is playing?
Well, we've got Dessie and Mike McGoldrick, and if you've not heard of them, you should check them out, because they're just incredible musicians. They're both two Manchester lads. Dessie's the most incredible fiddle player you've ever seen in your life. He's just unbelievable. And Michael McGoldrick plays the flute. just outstanding. They came to the Irish Centre a couple of years ago, and I was a little bit wary, thinking that there's only two of them. That they need a guitarist or something like that, just flute and fiddle. But I was absolutely amazed when I saw them play that they just don't need any other accompaniment at all. They're both just outstanding, incredible players. So yeah, you definitely need to check them out. I mean, these two guys have played with, they've been on tour with Martin Knopfler. They've played with, I had a band called Toss the Feathers years ago. They've been on the Transatlantic sessions with James Taylor and Donald Lunny, and they've played in Capercaillie, Lunas, Fluke with Sharon Shannon. Just they've got a huge list. Awesome. I was looking earlier at the list of albums that Mike McGoldrick's played on as a session player, and it's just incredible. There must be about 40 or 50 records there just by really big names, especially in the kind of Irish folk world. But not bad for two lads from Manchester.
Yeah, well, that sounds tremendous.
So that's going to kick off the festival. That's going to be the 1st of October.
Oh, tremendous. Well, I hope I've got a ticket, Paul. Do I get a complimentary?
Well, we'll see. It'll probably be sold out, so we might not be able to get you in.
I know. Well, I'll have to get in there in the front of the queue. But it sounds fancy. What a great way to kick everything off. So
that's going to be the 1st of October. Then we've got you interviewed Jacqueline Hines a couple of months ago.
Yes.
The flute player. Yeah. Well, she got in touch with me to say that she's doing a bit of work with a guy called Liam O'Weenley. And I was thinking, Liam O'Weenley, why is that name familiar? And it's because he was the singer with Hot House Flowers.
Of course.
He was the main guy who had the big hit in the 90s with Don't Go. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I interviewed him at Glastonbury in 1990.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. You got him first time round. Yeah, well, he's coming back. So, and I think we're going to play a bit of a clip of him anyway, so we can watch a clip of him.
Yeah, there's a smell of fresh cut grass and it's filling up my senses, and the sun is shining down on the blossoms in the avenue, and there's a butterfly hanging around the bluebells and the daisies, and there's a lot more loving left in this world. Don't leave me now. While the sun smiles, stick around, look away. Yeah, I'm lying warm on the soft sandy beaches, and my toes are submerged in the water, and it feels good. And there's children playing, building castles on the shoreline like a painting that we love. And Lord, it feels so fine. Don't leave me now. While the sun smiles, stick around, love away.
Really fantastic player, great songwriter, and he's totally passionate about Irish culture, Irish music, and the Irish language as well. His dad used to sing to him in Irish when he was a kid, and he sings himself in Irish as well as English. He's a multi-instrumentalist, very talented guy. So Jacqueline's playing with Liam on the 2nd of October, which is going to be the Saturday night.
I definitely want tickets for that one.
It's going to be great, yeah. There's going to be a support band from York called the White Sail Band, who I've never heard of before, but I've looked them up and they're really great. Like really good harmony band. So definitely, it's going to be a big night. It's like 3 for the price of one, that one. And
I sense the enthusiasm and the excitement that you've got for this. It must be a really sort of challenging thing to organise, but also you get a buzz because you can find artists you really admire and appreciate. And as a musician yourself, Paul, you know what's good.
Yeah, I think so. It's a fine line between kind of appreciating somebody's musical ability and thinking, and then also thinking, well, let's sell tickets, because that's also is a big consideration. You have to be able to think, will everybody else, not just me, like this? So yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act, just getting it just right, because you can't please everyone. But I just try and find good quality people who I think will appeal to other people. And I think that's all you can do, really. Yeah. Try and get a bit of everything if possible. A bit of variation.
So who else you got?
we've got something else we always try and do is a film. Try and put some kind of film on if we can. This time we've got a film by this lady called Janet Bean. And she's actually in the film, and she wrote the film, and her husband is a director. But I think her plan was to put it on in a theatre, and then the whole lockdown thing happened, and she just talked to her husband about it and said, well, why don't we make it into a short film instead of a theatre show? So that's what she's done. But it's about her grandmother, who's this lady called Coughlan Bean. She was a really famous, well, not famous, she was a very political lady, incredible woman, a big Irish Republican and a folk singer. She was around at the time of the Easter Rising, but she's the mother of Brendan Bean and Brian Bean and Dominic Bean, who are obviously three great writers, playwrights, and her brother was Padder Kearney, who wrote the lyrics to the Soldier song. Oh, so nice. She comes from an incredible family, and she was incredible herself. And her granddaughter, this lady Janet Bean, who's in the film, tells the story of her grandmother and her kind of famous family. So, and it's interspersed with songs from her family and bits of prose, and so it's going to be really interesting. That
sounds amazing. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm so impressed. I'm buzzing here listening to this. Come on, it's the first I've heard, It's the first I've heard.
Well, I know, yeah, I know. It's all just in the planning, and there's still things unplanned as yet.
Fantastic.
We've got a dance event by this lady called Orna O'Brien, who's she's the leader of the she's the course director at the University of Limerick, and she's a dance. I don't call her a teacher; she's a bit more than a teacher, and also an author. And she's written a book about this like it's like the kind of story of Irish history, but it's told through set dances. And she's this book. So what we're hoping to do is kind of get her to come over to talk about a book, talk about all these different set dances, but also have some live dancers there and do a bit of multimedia stuff to have some slides up on the screen and kind of explain the historical context with these dancers, stuff like that. So that's going to be a really interesting event as well.
Definitely, yeah.
One for the dancers.
Yeah.
We've got a guy called Francie Devine, who came across a couple of years ago. And he's an English guy with Scottish parents, but he's lived in Dublin since 1973, I think. And he's a big kind of name in the singing circle around in Dublin, especially the house singing circle, which was quite famous. There were lots of kind of big name singers that have come through the ranks there over the years.
Don't you know the reason, love, this night that I am here? It is in order to obtain the love of you, my dear. Your sweet celestial charms, they have wounded quite my brain. Your skin's far whiter than the swan swims o'er yon pearling stream. You are tall, genteel, and handsome. You are modest, mild, and free. And as the lodestone varies, you draw the heart from me.
Yes. He's a fabulous singer, but he's also played with this. He plays with these two Scottish musicians, a guy called Paul Anderson, who was just an incredible fiddle player, another great fiddle player, and a guitar player called Steve Byrne, who were just really top class players. Yeah, so that's going to be a really nice night too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's all there. I mentioned Mary Coughlan earlier on. She's like the Irish Billie Holiday. She's just blues and jazz, just an amazing voice.
Something told me that this was over when I saw you and that girl out talking. Something deep down in my soul said, cry, girl. When I saw you and that girl, I was walking. I would rather go blind go blind than to see you walking away from me.
We got in touch with the Jump and Hop Club, who you know of, I'm sure.
Yes, I do,
the local kind of promoters. And I spoke to Graham there, and I said, we're having this festival. Can we do something together for this? And he said, yeah. He said, I'd love to book Mary Coughlan. She's played in Newcastle several times at the Irish Centre, and for Graham at the Jump and Hop Club. So he's booked her. So it's great. So we can work together on that one. So that one's going to be at the Gosford Civic Hall. That'll be on the 23rd of October. And all the details are on our website and everything. Which
fantastic. That'll sell out quick.
At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be another quite big event.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of other little bits and pieces all the way through this festival, because I haven't mentioned any of the kind of lectures and things like that. There'll be exhibitions. There's also with it being the 150th year of the Irish Centre, we're hoping to get kind of some stuff around that, some lectures, some kind of events, things like that. So, but the kind of the end of the festival, we've also got we've got Maureen OShaughnessy and Chris Newman, who I think you're hopefully going to speak to before too long.
Yeah.
And Maureen is just an incredible harp player. She's absolutely just amazing, beautiful player. To playing partners Chris Newman, who's just he was a tutor on the folk degree course in Newcastle, and he's just the most virtuoso guitarist I think I've probably ever seen. He's just beautiful playing, and when the two of them play together, you think it's an odd combination, harp and guitar, but they just complement each other so well, and hopefully we can get them on to do a bit of a live performance.
That would be very nice, wouldn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Great.
So yeah, there's lots going on, all kinds of different things, and probably stuff I've forgotten, stuff that's not even been thought about yet.
Well, it's Paul. It sounds it's obviously a lot of work. I know how much work you put into the Cultural Society and to the festival itself. And what's great about it is the fact that you sound so enthusiastic about it. It's a labour of love. And that
I don't always sound this enthusiastic.
Well, this is your area, isn't it? Art, music, and performance, and you absolutely love that.
Yeah, I think it's when I'm actually talking about the performances, I think that's when I think that's what it's all about. But the rest of the time, it's phone calls, emails, just it's just a lot of kind of work trying to get it all organised. But the actual bit itself, the performance part, is the bit where I think, oh, great, this is what it's all about. So yeah.
Absolutely. Are there going to be any sessions? Are you going to be playing anything?
Well, we're hoping to get a Cayley in at some point. I think maybe at the very end of the month. I'm not sure yet. Probably be on a Sunday. And yeah, there'll be sessions which I don't know when they'll be. We've got a family day planned, which I think is going to be on Sunday the 24th, which will be just some kind of fun and games for the kids. We'll have the local branch of the cultus. They'll come and play a few tunes. So it's great to see the little kids playing for other kids, and it's good to get them encouraged to maybe learn to play an instrument, do a bit of dancing. Absolutely. We'll probably have the storyteller with any luck Well, Pat the Hat.
Yeah. You can't have a festival without Pat the Hat. He's got to be there.
I'm starting to get a bit worried that now I've told you everything that's going on, I'm starting to think I'm going to be really busy in October.
You certainly are, but it'll be fun. It'll be great fun.
It's all fine when you're kind of writing it down, but then you think, actually, that's a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Well, it's much appreciated, all the hard work you put in, and I think everyone will be looking forward to this, not only because of the lineup, but also just the fact that we can look forward to a big performance event where we can all get together, hopefully, and enjoy each other's company after such a long time.
Basically, that's it, isn't it? That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's just about people coming together. And I think the Irish are great at that. And hopefully everyone will be out and attending events before too long, feeling safe. So I still don't feel safe enough to go and get my hair cut, but I'm waiting for my second jab.
Well, I've had my second jab and I got my hair cut the other day and it was great. What a lovely feeling.
Yeah.
And the Bob did a slightly better job than Susan, my wife. It's only slightly, mine, no, Alan.
Yeah, great stuff.
Paul, it's great talking to you. As always, thank you so much. And hey, the festival sounds tremendous. Best ever.
Well, fingers crossed it all goes according to plan. And we'll see you all in October. Then you look. But if you want to find out any more details, if you look at our new website, TynesideIrish.com, all the details are on there, the tickets, the links, things like that. And of course, these podcasts.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thanks, Michael. See you soon.
See you soon. Take care.
Cheers now.
Thanks again to our guest, Paul Hetherington. And get your tickets early for the Tyneside Irish Festival. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, see you all in July. Take care.